In the event of strike or stoppage of work due to any reason, the minimum rent should be reduced proportionately. We are paying the minimum rent to landlord. How much? 50,000. For that, how much royalty earned? 32,000. How much short working? 18,000. For the total royalty? 80,000. Minimum rent 50,000 has to pay. How much excess is 30? Out of that, how much amount is given to recover? 1,500. How much left over? 78,500. Hello, my dear students. I am Dr. B.S. Subramania, called by name Dr. B.S.S., Professor in Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram, First Aid College, a Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today, in this session, I am going to have Financial Accounting 1, First Semester, Unit 4, Session 2, in favor of royalties account. In the last session, I already done one problem. This time, this session, I am going to have one more problem about the royalty with the detail, ledger accounts of the minimum rent account, royalty account, short working and landlord account. We'll go through the problem now. On 1/1/2004, Moria Mines Limited took a mine on lease at a royalty of ₹4 per ton with a power to recover short working over a period of 2 years. After the occurring of short working. So, if the short working goes this year, they have to recover in the next 2 years, subject to a minimum rent of 50,000 per annum. The output for the first 5 years, 2004, 8,000 tons, 2005, 12,000 tons, 2006, 16,000 tons, 2007, 9,000 tons, strike for 3 months, 2008, 20,000. In the event of strike or stoppage, work due to any reason, the minimum rent should be reduced proportionally. In the event of strike or stoppage of work due to any reason, the minimum rent should be reduced proportionately. So the minimum rent is only for 3 months strike, means the output is only for 9 months. That means you have to work out your minimum rent for 9 months only. Prepare. So before going to problem, so we are doing in the books of, let's see. We are doing the books of, let's see. First you have to understand what is actually journal entry. Journal entry to ledger. We'll pass on the journal entry now. Journal entry in the books of, let's see, when minimum rent is more and the royalty is less. The entry goes minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. That means we are going to pay the minimum rent. What's the first entry? Minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. Second entry, royalty account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent. For that minimum rent, what's the royalty? What's the first entry? Minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. Second entry, royalties account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent account. Third entry, landlord account debtor to bank account, payment to landlord. Fourth entry, profit and loss account or production account debtor to royalties. These are all the 4 entries you have to pass when minimum rent is more. This entry when the minimum rent is more. What is the first entry? Minimum rent account debtor to landlord account. We mean to say that we are paying the minimum rent. Second entry, royalties account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent. For that minimum, what would have been the royalty? What's the entry? Royalty account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent. Now we are paying the landlord whichever is the higher. Minimum rent, landlord account debtor to bank account, we are paying the minimum rent whichever is more. Whatever the royalty we have made, that will be transferred to production account or profit and loss account. Next, production or profit and loss account data to royalties account. These are all the 4 entries. When minimum rent is more, when the royalties are more, what would have been the entry? First entry, royalties account data to landlord account to short working account. Second entry, landlord account data to bank account. Third entry, production or profit and loss account data to royalties account. I'll repeat, when the royalties are more, royalties account data to landlord account to short working recoverable account. Next, payment to landlord, landlord account data to bank account. Transfer entry, production or profit and loss account data to royalties account. We'll pass the entry now. Journal entries. In the books of lessee, L-E-S-S-E, lessee, L-E-S-S, when minimum rent is more, number 1, minimum rent account data, minimum rent account data to landlord account. Second entry, what is the first entry? Minimum rent account data to landlord account. Second entry, royalties account data short working account data debit entry, royalties account data short working account data to minimum rent. Third entry, landlord bank account, landlord to bank account. Transfer entry. Number 4, profit and loss or production account to royalties account. Royalties transferred. Great. Profit and loss account or production account data to royalties. These are the entries which we have to make when a minimum rent is more. Now, when royalties are more, first entry, royalties account data royalties account data to landlord to short working, SW means short working recoverable. First entry. This entry, when royalties are more, royalties account data to landlord account to short working recoverable account. Number 2, landlord account, debtor to bank account, paid to landlord, transfer entry. Profit and loss or production account debtor to royalties account. So when royalties are more, the entry will be royalties account debtor to landlord account to short working account. When you pay the landlord account debtor to bank, transfer entry, production or profit and loss account debtor to royalty. This is the entry when minimum rent is more. This is the entry when the royalties are more. Now, depends on this, no? We are going to prepare the ledger. So, come back here. This is the royalties. Analytical table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here 9 column royalties R O Y A L T I E S. How many letters are there? 9 letters, 9 columns. R O Y A L T I E S. 9 columns. We'll move on. For the first year, 2004, first year, 2004. What's your output now? 8,000 tons, units. Royalty per ton, how much? 4 rupees ton. 8,000 into 4, 32,000. With a minimum rent of 50,000. 50,000. So how much short working? 50,000 is going to pay. Real royalty is 32,000. How much shortage? 18,000. See that? You are going to pay minimum rent of 50, but actual royalty is 32,000. How much short working? 18,000. Recovered? No. Not yet recovered? 18,000. So you are paying. So how many years he has given? Power to go short working over a period of next 2 years. 2,000 discharge should be recovered next 2 years. Other says no. Power to recover short working over a period of 2 years after recurring of short working. Next 2 years. Come back here. 2005, 12,000 tons. 48,000. Minimum rent of 50,000. Short working 2,000. Recovered? No. Not yet recovered. 2,000. Paid to landlord. Whichever is more, 50,000. No, this one, 18,000 should be recovered in the next year. 2006. What's your output now? 16,000 tons. Royalty 4 rupees, 64,000 with a minimum rent of 50,000. So we have to pay the 50,000. How much more? 14,000 more. That can be put into a recovery. Minimum rent you have to pay. What's your royalty? 64,000. He says no. You pay the first minimum rent. Whatever the excess come, adjusted to Your shortage. How much shortage first year? 18,000. How much recovered? 14,000. How much could not be recovered? 4,000. That will be transferred to profit and loss account. Paid to landlord 50,000. This you have to pay. 50 you have to pay. How much excess is there? 14,000. That is 14,000 is recovered. How much could not be recovered? 18,000. How much could not be recovered? 4,000. Come back to next year. 2007. This is a straight period. 9,000 tons. 36,000 is the your royalty per ton 4 rupees. Minimum rent is reduced proportionately 50,000 per annum into 9 divided by 12. For 9 months, minimum rent reduced proportionately. Your output is only for 9 months, 50,000 per annum. For 9 months, your minimum rent work out 37,500. Your royalty is 36,000. Which is more? Minimum rent is more. How much shortage? 1,500. Recovered? No. How much this should be recovered now? 2,000, 2 years could not be recovered. Transferred to profit and loss account. Paid to landlord, whichever is more higher, 37,500. This out of 18, 2,000 would have been recovered, could not be recovered. There's a shortage of 1,500. Next year, 2008, 20,000 tons. See that 80,000 is the royalty, 4 rupees with a minimum rent of 50,000. How much excess is there? 30,000 is there. How much shortage for 4,000? It can be recovered. Whatever the balance comes, that goes to landlord. Out of 80,000, minus 1,500 has been given as a recovered. What's the amount left over? 78,500 paid to landlord. See that? What's the total royalty? 80,000. Minimum rent 50,000 has to pay. How much excess is 30? Out of that, how much amount is given to recover? 1,500. How much left over? 78,500. So all recovered. This is transferred to P&L account. This amount is recovered. Now, you have to prepare the each ledger. This is your ledger. This is for only for 9 months. This is for 9 months. This is actually 50,000 into 9 by 12. 9 months. 50,000 into 9 by 12, 37,500. We'll move on to ledger. Minimum rent. Date. Particulars. Amount. Date. Particulars. Amount. Debit. Credit. What you are paying? Minimum rent in the first year. How much you are paying? 50,000. What's the entry? Minimum rent account debtor to landlord. 2004 to landlord. You are paying 50,000. Minimum rent you are paying 50. How much is the royalty? 32,000, same date, by royalties, 32,000, same date, by short working, SW I write, short working, 18,000, totally 50,000. How it is? We are paying the minimum rent to landlord. How much? 50,000. For that, how much royalty earn? 32,000. How much short working? 18,000. Goes to 2004. 2005. Once again, which is more? Minimum rent is more. So, you have to write minimum rent to landlord. To landlord, 50,000. How much royalties earn? 48,000. 2005 by royalties. We are paying 50,000. How much is the royalties? 48,000. Same date by short working 2,000. So 2006 won't come because royalties are more. 2007, once again, which is more? Minimum rent is more. How much you are paying? 37,500 to landlord. 37,500 we are paying. 2007. For that, how much royalty? 36,000 by royalties. 36,000. Same date by short working 1,500. 37,500. Come back to next year. So, royalties are more. The question of minimum rent does not come. Now, landlord account. Date. Particulars. Amount. Date. Particulars. Amount. Debit. Credit. Now, how much you're paying to landlord, you have to look after. First, we'll go with one by one. How much you pay to landlord? 50,000. What is that is? Minimum rent. First year. 2004. Landlord to bank account. To bank account. How much you paid? 50,000. What is that? Minimum rent. 2004 by minimum rent. $50,000. We pay them minimum rent. 50,000. 2005. What you pay is minimum rent. So we pay the minimum rent. How much a royalty? 48,000. 2005. To bank account. 50,000. What is 50,000? Second year. To bank account. Second year. What is that? Minimum rent. By minimum rent. 50,000. Second year over. Third year. First year more. Third year 64,000. Royalties are more. It won't come. Fourth year, once again, minimum rent is more. Date, particulars, amount, date, particulars, amount, debit, credit. 2006 won't come because royalties are more. 2007, we are paying how much? 37,500 to bank. 37,500. We are paying 2007. So we are paying in 2007. How much you are paying? 37,500. What is 37,500? That is the minimum rent. 2007 by minimum rent. 37,500. Last year, 2008, we are paying how much? 78,500. That is the royalty. 2008 to bank account. How much you are paying? 78,500. Same. 2008. What is that? By royalty. By royalties. So, over. Minimum rent over royalty. Now, come back to royalties. Date, particulars, amount, date, particulars, amount, debit, credit. First year royalty. What's your first year royalty? The royalty account data are short working account data are to minimum rent account. To minimum rent, 2004. The entry, royalties account data are short working account data to it. So royalties to minimum rent, 32,000. Transfer to production by profit and loss or production account. 32,000. What's next year? Royalties account data are short working account to minimum rent, 2005 to minimum rent, 48,000, 2005 by profit and loss account, 48,000. 2 years, so transfer it. Next year, you got royalty 64,000. How much paying the landlord? 50,000. Royalties account data to landlord account to short working account. That is 2006. Date, particulars, amount, date, particulars, amount, debit, credit. Next year. What's entry? royalties account data 2007, which is more, minimum rent is more. Royalties account data, short working account data to minimum rent. Which year you are doing? 2000, landlord 5, 2006, which is more, royalty. Royalties account data to landlord 2006, to landlord 50,000, to short working recovered. How much recovered? Short working recovered 14,000, 64,000. This is your royalty transfer to P&L account by profit and loss. 60. Then 2007 royalty account data, short working account, royalty to minimum rent, royalty to minimum rent. How much royalty is transfer? Royalty account data, short working account data to minimum rent. 2007 royalty to royalties account data, short working account data to minimum rent. Royalties account data, short working account data to minimum rent. How much? 2007. Its royalty is 36,000. Transfer to P&L account by profit and loss. 36,000. Then 2008 royalties account data to landlord to short working recovered. 2008 to landlord, royalties account data to landlord. How much you are paying landlord? 78,500. To short working recovered 1,500. It becomes 80,000. Here 2008. What's your royalty of that year? 80,000. Transfer to P&L account. 80,000. So short working account. Last. Date. Particulars. Amount. Date. Particulars. Amount. Debit. First year. Royalty. Short working royalties account data. Short working account data to minimum rent. 2004 to minimum rent. How much shortage? 18,000. 2004 balance carried down 18,000. 2005 to balance brought down. What's it? Entry royalty is only 32,000. How much shortage? 18. Brought down 18,000. Then see the 2005. Once again, royalty is less to then the minimum rent. Royalty account data, short working account to minimum rent. To minimum rent. 2,000, totally 20,000. Balance carried down, 20,000. Still shortage is there. Date, particulars, amount, date, particulars, amount, debit, credit. Come back here. How many years over? 2005, 2006. Yeah. There is a recovery of 14,000. How much transfer to P&L account? 4,000. 2006. To balance brought down. What's amount? 20,000. How much recovered? 14,000. How much could not be recovered? 4,000. 2006 by royalties. Recover 14,000. How much transferred to profit and loss account? 4,000. Still balance carried down 2,000. 20,000. 20,000. Then 2007. To balance brought down. It is 2,000. See that? 2007, 36,000. Royalties accounted are short working, accounted are to minimum rent. How much is there? 1,500. Come back 2007. By profit and loss account, which could not be recovered. 2,000. Balance carried down 1,500. Still 3,500. Last year 2008. To balance brought down 1,500. See that? 2008. You got 80. How much you recovered? 1,500 because of the royalty more. Here 2008 by royalties recovered 1,500. This is recovered. Oh, understand? I have given the journal entries. I have gone all the little code detailing. Go through the problem very slowly and find out this type of problem will come from the examination. Hope you understand. We'll meet in the next session with another problem. Till then, goodbye.